Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, friends, welcome to the 100-year anniversary of the Universal Worship Service that was first given by Piro Murshid Hazrat Inayat Khan. And I will tell you more about him and more about the service as part of the sermon portion of the evening. So I'm so delighted to be with you and to have some sweet friends in the home so that we can sing together and celebrate these different faith traditions. And knowing that all of the ones that are specifically represented on the altar are just the representations, they are not indicative of the whole picture of the faith traditions that have blessed and continue to bless humanity. But it's a good start. And it gives us an idea that whatever theme we're looking at, we can find the echoes of the same truth and the same divine reality in all of the different forms and all the different religions. So on the altar, there are flowers. This is mostly a traditional universal worship service, but we're going to include a lot of music, and I'll probably make some irreverent jokes because I'm Sarah and that's just how I roll. So Murshid did say to put flowers on the altar, to have incense burning, which I haven't started yet because I want to make sure everyone is comfortable with incense before I light it on fire. So, there's a little hesitance.
There is a little hesitance.
I know. So I'm gonna light some incense. We're gonna leave it burning for a few seconds and then we're gonna put it out. So we have the essence of it without hurting anybody. So this will be our way of being obedient to the vision of Piro Murshid Inayat Khan. Okay, so this is Nag Champa. All of you are probably familiar with Nag Champa. So you can absorb that essence a little bit and inhale the fragrance that this fragrance is burning in temples all around the world. So, okay, did everyone get a whiff of it? Would you like us to pass it back that way so you can?
I feel fine.
Okay, all right, enough of that, putting out the incense. So we have fulfilled our duty. The one candle that is burning on the altar already is representative of God. That is the light that always has been shining and will always shine, regardless of whether we are paying attention or any names or forms that we want to call it and identify with it. But that's the symbolism of the one candle that's burning already. In the course of the service, we'll go through and light candles in each of these other dishes. And this one is Hinduism, and then Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, and then I don't know if I can show this without moving. There's Judaism. It doesn't look like it for you in the room, but it does on the Zoom. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. That was such a good visual effect. On the Zoom, it works. Okay, so then this one in the center, it has the Sufi heart with wings that represents the spirit of guidance that is pervading, inclusive of all of the faith traditions that have ever existed on the planet. Okay, so we're going to dive right in here. We will include lots of music. You're welcome to sing everything along. Every prayer that we do, I'll put the words in the chat window for you. So if you don't already have your chat window open, there's a little icon at the bottom of your Zoom screen that says chat, and that will open up a margin on the side. So everything I put in here will show up over there. If these prayers are new to you, you might encounter some language that is not natural or comfortable for you. And I always invite each of us to notice where our points of resistance and assumptions and reactions are so that we can look for healing, resolution, and freedom within ourselves. So you don't have to say any of the words that are uncomfortable for you, but the inner inquiry is part of the Sufi path and an ongoing invitation for all of us. Okay. Beginning with the invocation. Toward the one, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the Spirit of guidance. Amen. To the glory of the omnipresent God, we kindle this light, symbolically representing the Hindu religion. To the glory of the omnipresent God, we kindle this light, symbolically representing the Buddhist religion. To the glory of the omnipresent God, we kindle this light, symbolically representing the Zoroastrian religion. To the glory of the omnipresent God, we kindle this light, symbolically representing the Jewish religion. To the glory of the omnipresent God, we kindle this light, symbolically representing the Christian religion. To the glory of the omnipresent God, we kindle this light, symbolically representing the religion of Islam. To the glory of the omnipresent God, we kindle this light, symbolically representing all those who, whether known or unknown, have held aloft the light of truth amidst the darkness of human ignorance. Can you see them glowing? They were glowing quite beautifully earlier. I hope that you're getting a little bit of that effect through the Zoom land. We'll say the prayer song together. I think it all fit in the chat window. We'll see. It's a little bit of a longer prayer. Okay. Praise be to thee, most supreme God, omnipotent, omnipresent, all-pervading, the only being. Take us in thy parental arms. Raise us from the denseness of the earth. Thy beauty do we worship. To thee do we give willing surrender. Most merciful and compassionate God, the idealized Lord of the whole humanity, thee only do we worship, and towards thee alone we aspire. Open our hearts towards thy beauty. Illuminate our souls with divine light. O thou, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, all-powerful creator, sustainer, judge, and forgiver of our shortcomings. Lord God of the East and of the West, of the worlds above and below, and of the seen and unseen beings. Pour upon us thy love and thy light. Give sustenance to our bodies, hearts, and souls. Use us for the purpose that thy wisdom chooseth, and guide us on the path of thine own goodness. Draw us closer to thee every moment of our life, until in us be reflected thy grace, thy glory, thy wisdom, thy joy, and thy peace. I have a new friend. I just met a new friend. We just met in the gaze. Okay, friends, before we go into the scriptures, I'm going to turn you around again so you can say hello to all of the friends in this room. Please don't unmute yourselves. I'm just going to show you so you can feel like you're here. So here's Soma and Rahima, Deborah, Inanna, sorry, Zahira and Sahaja on the couch. And then back there is Mia, Mike, Kalika, and Deborah. Okay, friends. So for us now, those of us who are in this mode of interfaith engagement with spirituality, this might not seem so strange, but this service, having 6 different faith traditions represented on one altar 100 years ago, was actually a little scary, I think. This might not have even been a safe practice. Right now, it feels pretty safe to me. I feel safe in my own home, lighting candles and reading scriptures from 6 different faith traditions. And but attuning to the importance of being able to cultivate friendship between faith traditions, where we are willing to be in one place and to recite something from Hindu scriptures and then Buddhist scriptures, Zoroastrian scriptures. Do we even know what Zoroastrianism is anymore? I know some people don't, some of us do. But... Okay. So we're going to read a short passage from each of these faith traditions, and then we're going to sing in each of these faith traditions, because we're part of this particular lineage stream that I'm closest to is the Ruhaniyat, and the Ruhaniyat has a particular, bless you, has a particular delight in music and embodied prayer practice, that we want life and worship to be fun. And if it isn't fun, we don't want anything to do with it. So our first irreverent joke, I think. Okay, so we'll read from the scriptures beginning with Hinduism. I'm gonna scoot back here and turn you so you can see me. Okay, so this is from the Rig Veda, 3:62:10. We meditate on that most adored Supreme Lord, the Creator whose effulgence, divine light, illumines all realms, physical, mental, and spiritual. May this divine light illumine our intellect, which is, before it was translated into that, something like Om Buhur Bhuva Svaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dimahi Dio Yonat Prachodayat. So that's what we're going to sing. We'll do it in a non-scary way. So if this is new to you, you don't have to worry about it. Those of you who are in the room, you have it on your piece of paper under Hinduism. And there are weird words sitting there on the page for you that I will put in the chat window. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I did something very strange with my Zoom. I'm sorry, what's that? Oh, the Rig Veda. Yeah. I apologize. I clicked something on my computer and made everything disappear. So here's the words for what is commonly known as the Gayatri mantra. And we're going to do this first as a call and response, and then eventually we'll do it in unison. This is a Shruti box. For those of you who don't play an instrument but wish you did, this is an excellent starting instrument. So it is. Oh, that's nice. Okay. So please repeat after me. Even if you know it, please repeat after me at least a couple times. Om Bhurbhuva Svaha. Om Bhurbhuva Svaha. Tat Savitur Varenyam. Tat Savitur Varenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dimahi. Bhargo Devasya Dimahi. Dio Yonat Prachodayat. Dio Yonat Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuva Svaha. Om Bhurbhuva Svaha. Tat Savitur Varenyam. Tat Savitur Varenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dimahi. Bhargo Devasya Dimahi. Dio Yonat Prachodayat. Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We offer to the omniscient God our reverence, our homage, and our gratitude for the light of the divine wisdom. For Buddhism, we'll read from the Heart Sutra. And this is a new translation from Thich Nhat Hanh. There are a lot of different translations of the Heart Sutra, and this one is particularly lovely. Here's a little piece of it. Bodhisattvas who practice the insight that brings us to the other shore see no more obstacles in their mind. And because there are no obstacles in their mind, they can overcome all fear, destroy all wrong perceptions, and realize perfect nirvana. And the mantra to be repeated is Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha, which can be translated as gone, gone, so far gone, so super duper intergalactically gone into nothing but pure conscious awareness. And so it is. And so we will. So, let me put the words in there. I have to reverse all the clicks that I did before to mess things up before, so I can find my lyrics for you. Okay. Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha. It's either on your page or in your chat window now. We're going to do a rockin' version of this. There are a series of gestures that we can do even seated, where we're just rocking forward and back so that we're just emptying out the self over and over again. Any thoughts, feelings, attachments, distractions, obstructions, convolutions, confusions, whatever it is that is keeping us from that pure awareness that is our true nature. We let those go with each bow forward. And you can do it even with bringing your hands to touch into things that maybe you need to clear out from your heart space or your thoughts, or I don't know, I have a sore rib. I'll just take the soreness from my rib. Okay, so Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha, gone into perfect awareness. Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha. Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha. We offer to the omniscient God our reverence, our homage, and our gratitude for the light of the divine compassion. From the Zoroastrian scriptures, I brought you you're welcome, two brief passages, both from the Avesta Yasna. The first one is 51:3. Do you know it?
No.
Pop quiz time. Watch out, everybody. Anybody could happen to anybody. Let all those who do good deeds come together to foster Mother Earth. God and truth speak the language of revelation that comes from the highest mind. From the beginning, have you been the teacher? And from Avestayasana 28:1, I pray to thee, O Mazda, with uplifted hands, and to thy Holy Spirit, first of all, and hope that through truths and righteousness, I would enjoy the light of wisdom and a clean conscience, thus bringing solace to the soul of creation. Sometimes say that the Ruhaniyat is really the catch-all for us spiritually minded folks with ADD. That we want to go from one particular energy and enjoyment and aspect to something completely different and dive into that for a while, and then something completely different and splash around in that for a while. and so there's room for everybody. And I'm supposed to save all my talking for later. Sorry about that. So we're going to do a beautiful call and echo song in honor of Asha, which is the aspect of holy wisdom or cosmic law that is about awakening our highest sense and attuning to our purpose. Everything has a purpose. It couldn't be otherwise. So I'll put the words in the chat window, and whether you're in this room or on the Zoom, there is a call and echo throughout this thing, but the timing is a little bit different than you might anticipate. So please let me sing one line and then you'll sing it back to me, even if you know it. And eventually, if you want to sing the call with me or you want to keep singing the echo, you can take your pick. And just the first time through, I'll do the call and everyone else do the response, please. Thou holy Asha, thou holy Asha, thou art on the tree of life, thou art on the tree of life, standing in the middle of the eternal sea. Standing in the we offer to the omniscient God our reverence, our homage, and our gratitude for the light of the divine purity. Well, we're sort of halfway through. How are y'all doing out there in Zoom land? Are you okay? I can only see a few of you. Hold on a second. Will you, if you're doing your thumbs up or something, will you do your gesture for another second so I can scroll through and see everybody? Oh my gosh, Taliesin. Oh my gosh, Surya and Rashida. I'm so happy to see all of you. Okay, I'll tell everybody who all is on here now. There's Latifa, Abdullah Arshad, Khadija Noor, Salama, Diane, Terry, Rahmana, Baiba, Becky. Hi, Becky. It's been a long time. Hi, Baiba. It's been a long time for you too. Mohan, Solomon, Rakiba, and Troy. If Troy is still there, Troy's arm is there. We'll see about the rest. Oh, yep, his beard is there too. Thank you. Taliesin, Baraka, and Anne are together. Surya and Rashida are together at Lama. Oh, there's Rahmana, Asim, and Kalimullah, Halim, Janet, Bismillah, Jax, Polly, Miriam, Omkar, and Malika. I had to start with Omkar because it's always Malika and Omkar, isn't it? There's some couples where you just know, like, here's the person whose name. No, we'll try to keep it even. Okay. Mirabai, Yohanan, Alim, Samia, and Salim. And around here, we have, here you are one more time, Soma, Rahima. Everybody's they're fixing their makeup. Hold on, I'll give them a second. Okay. Inanna, Zahira, Sahaja, Mia, Mike, Kalika, and Deborah. And Sarah. I could also show you that the teachers are sitting in the corner over here. There's Piro Murshid Anayat Khan, Murshid Sam, Pir Moinuddin, Pir Shabda, and Murshid Ramat. Okay, for Judaism, are you ready for Judaism? Of course, everybody's always ready for Judaism. Here we are. This is from Deuteronomy. I actually have two passages from Deuteronomy for you. First one is 6:4. Pop quiz. Anyone know what 6:4? No, we're not doing that. Know, K-N-O-W, know therefore today, and take it to your heart that the Lord, He is God in heaven above and on the earth below. There is no other. I just want to highlight the phrases, there is no other, not it is better than the other. There is no other. That means it's all inclusive. Okay. We know that that's what it means. Okay, then Deuteronomy 6:14. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God. The Lord is one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. And of course, that's what we're going to sing. Shema Yisrael, hear, O Israel. And Israel means God wrestler. It's somebody who is arguing with God or fighting against or with or lamenting, complaining maybe about God. Adonai means Lord. It doesn't actually mean God, but we use it as a placeholder for God in Judaism. Eloheinu, our God. Adonai, Lord. Echad, one. Only one. Okay. So that last one was nice and gentle. So this one, we're going to pick it up again so we don't fall asleep. Ready? Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Oh, sorry. I forgot I was going to put the words in the window for you. You don't need them, do you? Hebrew is everyone's second or first language, isn't it? Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. So this one also works as a zikr, meaning that we can do a hadrat movement, bowing back and forth. That is just getting over this notion of duality and separateness. It's all one, man, woman, beings, it's all one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai All right. Zoom land friends, can we get jazz hands for the lark buntings over here? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's offer our reverence before we do jazz hands. Okay. We offer to the omniscient God our reverence, our homage, and our gratitude for the light of the divine covenant. Jazz hands. I can only see 3 of the Zoom screens right now, but they all did jazz hands. Okay. The lark buntings are hired. Every universal worship service, we're gonna have them here. Okay. They just came up with that band name like right now. We didn't even have a brainstorming session. Nobody even got drunk for it. It was just, what should we call our band? The Lark Buntings. I think that was so much.
Really
He might be drunk. He's not drunk. I'm just teasing. Okay. So for Christianity, are we ready for that? Here we are for Christianity. This is from Ephesians 4, verses 3 to 6. I had to think if it was the verse or the chapter. No, it's chapter 4, verse 3 to 6. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. Did you know that one?
I knew that one.
I heard Inanna was over here mouthing along, like speaking along with the verse. Okay, so we did something raucous for Judaism, so we're going to do a ballad for Christianity. Oh, but before we do that, I need a sip of my tea, and I left it, I think, on the kitchen table. Is my tea right there? Would you mind passing that over here? Pardon me, friends. Thank you, darling. Do you mind if I call you darling? I should have asked you first. All right. So I put the words in the chat window, and you have them on your sheets also. I'll say one bread, one body, one Lord of all, one cup of blessing which we share. And we, though many throughout the earth, we are one body in this one Lord. Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry. Wow. We do have room to share. I just didn't know it was there. Sorry. I almost knocked a different cup of tea on the floor, making room for my own. Not necessary. There's one shelf for all the tea. We only need one. Sorry, give me an audience, man. Okay. One bread, one body, one Lord of all, one cup of blessing which we share, and we, though many, throughout the earth, we are one body in this one Lord, one bread, one body, one Lord. We offer to the omniscient God our reverence, our homage, and our gratitude for the light of the divine self-sacrifice. You are welcome to get up and wiggle if you need to. Or want to. Okay, for Islam from the Quran. Pop quiz time, Sahaja. Chapter 13, verses. Are you going to do it? Verses, I selected verses 9, 14, and 28. Is your brain looking for it right now?
Yeah.
Did you find it?
I might need the first word.
I'm not going to do it in the Arabic, so it won't help you. I'll probably say it in English. And you're like, I don't even recognize that. Here's the one possible English translation, which we know the Quran can't be written down even and can't be translated. So it's already wrong, but it's the best we can do right now. So these are a few of the excerpts from this surah of the Quran. The knower of the invisible and the visible, the grand, the supreme. To him belongs the call to truth. Those who believe and whose hearts find comfort in the remembrance of God. Surely it is in the remembrance of God that hearts find comfort.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell it to us in Arabic?
In Arabic?
Yeah. You want to come on or off the camera?
I don't remember all the words.
Okay, we won't know the difference. So you can say whatever you want.
In English, it's already
We'll be
translated.
so impressed either way.
No, the Arabic.
I mean, I remember the last phrase. ala bidikri Ilahi tatma'innu qulub.
Same. Okay. Thank you, Sahaja. So we're going to sing 4 beautiful names of God, 4 of the infinite beautiful names of God. And in a very simple way, we can say, Ya Awwal, Ya Akhir. And Awwal is usually said to be the first, but you can think about it as the very beginning, the very beginning. And Akhir is the last, or it's the very end. So it covers the entire spectrum of time and processes from beginning to end and beyond. And then Ya Dhahir, Ya Batin. Ya Dhahir, Ya Batin, which is the manifest and the hidden, or what is apparent, what is perceivable, and what is unseen or secret, held close. So with these 4, we cover all of existence, from the beginning to the end, the seen and the unseen. Ya Awwal, Ya Akhir, Ya Dhahir, Ya Batin. And we'll put Awwal and Akhir together a few times, then we'll just do Ya Dhahir several times, and then Ya Batin, we go silent because it's hidden. So I'll start saying it very quietly, but then we'll just breathe it and feel it inside. Okay. Ya Awwal, Ya Akhir, Ya Awwal, Ya Akhir, Ya Awwal, Ya Akhir, Ya Awwal, we offer to the omniscient God our reverence, our homage, and our gratitude for the light of the divine unity. Have about 2 minutes in silence to just be in the atmosphere of these teachings from all of these different traditions, and the music, the joy, the beauty, the atmosphere of the holy. And let's say the prayer Salat together. New sound. Maybe that's because it's too big to put in there all together. Hold on a second. Okay, there's the first half of it, and then we'll pause so I can put the second half of it. Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay, I think that I have it ready to give you the second half of it as soon as we get there. So please join us in this prayer if you wish. Most gracious Lord, Master, Messiah, and Savior of humanity, we greet thee with all humility. Thou art the first cause and the last effect, the divine light and the spirit of guidance, Alpha and Omega. Thy light is in all forms, thy love in all beings, in a loving mother, in a kind father, in an innocent child, in a helpful friend, and in an inspiring teacher. Allow us to recognize thee in all thy holy names and forms, as Rama, as Krishna, as Shiva, as Buddha. Let us know thee as Abraham, as Solomon, as Zarathustra, as Moses, as Jesus, as Muhammad, and in many other names and forms, known and unknown to the world. We adore thy past. Thy presence deeply enlightens our being, and we look for thy blessing in the future. O Messenger, Christ, Nabi, the Rasul of God, thou whose heart constantly reaches upward, thou comest on earth with a message as a dove from above when Dharma decayeth, and speakest the word that is put into thy mouth as the light filleth the crescent moon. Let the star of the divine light shining in thy heart be reflected in the hearts of thy devotees. May the message of God reach far and wide, illuminating and making the whole humanity as one single family in the parenthood of God. So from the Gayan, which is a collection of aphorisms, prayers, poems, and sacred teachings from Puro Murshid Hazrat Inayat Khan. I'll tell you more about him in a minute. Here are a few passages from this beautiful scripture. Truth is a divine inheritance found in the depth of every human heart. I'll read it again, because that's how I do. Truth is a divine inheritance found in the depth of every human heart. When man touches the ultimate truth, he realizes that there is nothing which is not in himself. When woman touches the ultimate truth, she realizes that there is nothing which is not in herself. I should do that a third time because I just did man and woman, but maybe those two are not all. When one touches the ultimate truth, one realizes that there is nothing which is not in oneself. The God ideal is the flower of creation, and the realization of truth is its fragrance. The God ideal is the flower of creation, and the realization of truth is its fragrance. All things which one seeks in God, such as light, life, strength, joy, and peace, these all can be found in truth. All things which one seeks in God, such as light, life, strength, joy, and peace, these all can be found in truth. We offer to the omniscient God our reverence, our homage, and our gratitude for the light of the divine truth. Okay, friends, it is time for me to just talk at you for a while. Most people would probably call this a sermon. If you need to get up and wiggle and stretch so that you can let go of any kinks and discomforts in the body and make yourself a little more comfortable. That would probably be a good idea right now. I won't start saying anything important yet. We're not taking like a formal break. We're just wiggling. And making the lights dance. Do y'all have what you need out there in Zoom land? Yohanan does. I'm scrolling through to see you again while we're wiggling. I'm wiggling and saying hello to everybody out here in Zoom land. Well, I was just looking at all of the screens of all of the people that don't have their cameras on because they're doing something they shouldn't be. Aha. Do you feel called out? I bet you do. Okay. Well, we'll let people get resituated over here. So you can see all of the glowing lights more on the candle right now, the glowing lights on the altar. They're like, what are those called? Luminarias?
In the bags?
Yeah.
Paper bags, yeah.
Is that what they're called?
Mhm.
Yeah, something like that. But these are ceramic bowls with light glowing out from the inside. Okay. All right, so I usually just riff about things, but I actually brought a lot of notes because there are a lot of important things happening here. Because this was not a normal occurrence. So it was 111 years ago that Piro Murshid, Hazrat Inayat Khan, sailed from India to the United States. I just want you to imagine what travel was like 111 years, 110 years ago. 110 years ago. That was not like you get your friend to drive you to the airport and you get on a plane with 300 seats and you fly across and 12 hours later you're landing in London. No, this was like months on a ship. Have you spent 10 minutes on a ship? Okay, months on a ship, 1910, Inayat Khan from India to the United States. Why? Why would he do that? Because he had tremendous confidence in his teacher, Abu Hashim Madani, who he had been looking for years, and there are all these magical stories about Inayat from a very early age, having a great mystical soul, looking for the reality and the true tangible felt experience of God, right? From early on. And I just took myself on a tangent, I'm sorry, but it's all part of the story. So we're just gonna go with it. So when Inayat Khan, he wasn't called Murshid at the time. I don't know, maybe his mother even called him Murshid. I wouldn't be surprised actually. Murshid means teacher. And so we use it both as a title and acknowledgement of someone's function in the world and also as a term of respect. So Murshid, teacher. Inayat is his first name. Khan is one of his last names, and his middle name is Remat, which is a blessing of happiness. I love that. Did you know that? Yeah, not Ramat, but Remat. So, but Ramat was his father. I think it was his father's name. Okay, so from early on, as a young child, his parents said, this is a special child. He had a special relationship with prayer and with God, and he wanted his prayers to be answered. And there was a story about, I don't remember how old he was, but young, like maybe 5 or 6, that he went to his father and said, I don't want to pray anymore because I'm not getting what it's about. Like, I'm not feeling it. And the father basically said, well, you know, you do what you want to do, but the longing is the answer. that when you want to experience something, that is the reason to pray. It's not because you have some tangible felt embrace of, oh God, wrap me up, and God was 98.8 degrees and was the texture of velvet. Or no, it's the longing in the heart, it's the ache in the heart that is the answer to the prayers. Okay, then there's a story when Murshid was a child. I don't know how old he was in this story. I'm no good at numbers, sorry about that. He was playing with friends at a community well, and there were statues, idols from some Hindu ceremony that had taken place. And some of his friends started kicking the statues over and knocking them around and hitting them. And Inayat went to his friends and said, stop, what are you doing? And they said, what do you care? They're not your gods. And he said, no, but they're somebody's gods.
Mm.
That's the beginning of the universal worship service. That's the very beginning. That is when Murshid goes and says, if we acknowledge and treat with respect what others hold precious, then we are cultivating tolerance and friendship and these highest ideals of love, harmony, and beauty. It's not that each of us are trying to turn into Hindus or Catholics or Buddhists, or maybe all of you are trying to turn into Buddhists. You're welcome to do that. You know, whatever it is that works for each of us, that there are as many paths as there are human beings. I think it's one of the hadith, one of the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that says, there are as many religions as there are people. Each heart has its own religion. Is that a hadith?
Yeah, as the breaths of people.
Nice, as the breath of people. Okay, so that beginning point very early on of just respecting what someone else holds sacred, that was there from the very beginning in Murshid's life. And he started looking for a teacher when I believe he was in his teen years. And he had a few years of looking for a teacher, and he had a vision of his teacher. And then eventually there's a whole series of events that brought him to the feet of his teacher, Abu Hashim Madani. And late in Abu Hashim Madani's life, he spoke to Murshid and put his hand on Murshid's head. He wasn't called Murshid at the time, but that's my word for him. And said something like, there are slight variations on this, but something like, fare forth into the world and unite East and West with the music of your soul. For this, you are uniquely gifted. That was the instruction. Fare forth, go out into the world, harmonize East and West with the music of your soul. There's a charge. There's a responsibility. There's a task. Okay. Then the blessing that he added on top of that is, may your faith be strengthened. And Murshid said that when he first heard that, he was very confused, and he thought, what a strange blessing. May your faith be strengthened. Why don't you wish me health, happiness, abundance, easeful travels, you know, whatever it is that we think will make our paths enjoyable. But no, may your faith be strengthened. I come back to this a lot. You can too. And he doesn't specify what is it that you're supposed to have faith in. Whatever you naturally have faith in is what you're supposed to have faith in. And nobody can give that to you. No one can shape that and write that up for you on a prescription pad and hand it, here's where your faith is. No, we each need to discover and cultivate our own faith, our own confidence, the light of our own souls. Yeah. There is a story. I'm going to keep doing this. I have notes, but I haven't looked at them yet. Okay, so there's a story that Murshid gives about how people in the different religions fight about their religion being the best. And it's the teachings of my religion are the best, the prayers are the best, the ceremonies are the best, the church is the best, the synagogue, the mosque, the temple, whatever it is the best. My God is better than your God. And he said, this is the same thing as a group of little girls playing with their dolls, having a nice little playtime with their dolls, and arguing about whose mother is the best. My mother's the best. No, my mother's the best. My mother gives the best hugs. My mother brushes my hair very gently. My mother didn't brush my hair very gently, but I still have a very nice mom. There's like, what are the qualities of your mom that makes your mom the best? And then how ridiculous is it to go and tell someone else that your mom is better than their mom? And Murshid answered, the best mom is the mom that one adores. The best mom is the one that you love. Same for God. The best God is the one that you love. That doesn't mean it's going to be the best God for anybody else. Okay. Another story, or maybe it's another metaphor that he uses. He uses lots of different ways to describe these things. He said that you could think about God and humanity as a big fairy, a fairy with wings, and probably a tutu, and probably a wand, and probably lots of glitter fairy dust. And there's a dollhouse, and the fairy is so large and is looking into the windows of the dollhouse and wants to get in there to play in the dollhouse. But the fairy is too large to get into the dollhouse. So the fairy sends one finger in through that window and sends her nose in through the other window and sends her right hip through the other window and the left foot through another window. And all of the different parts go into different windows and doors of the fairy house so they can get into the dollhouse. But once all of those different parts of the fairy get into the dollhouse, they don't recognize each other anymore and they start fighting. Get out of my house. You, earlobe, do not belong in my house. And it's such a silly notion, but you can see it. It makes sense in all of these ways that humanity argues about things, that we just don't recognize each other. We don't realize that we're all part of the same being. We've just taken ourselves into these separate forms so we could get into this silly dollhouse, this beautiful, exquisite, miraculous dollhouse called life. What a privilege, eh? Stop fighting, you guys. Stop it. Us guys. Okay, what else did I need to tell you? Here's a little quote from Murshid. He said, the Sufi sees the truth in every religion. The Sufi sees the truth in every religion. He says Sufism is the path of wisdom, the path of purity, and the path of friendship. He says above all else, it is the path of friendship. Here is object number 1 of the reasons that Murshid formed a Sufi order, an organization of teachings, of philosophy and activities that he called the Sufi order at the time. This is the first of 3. The reason, the object is to realize and spread the knowledge of unity, the religion of love and wisdom, so that the bias of faiths and beliefs may of itself fall away. The human heart may overflow with love, and all hatred caused by distinctions and differences may be rooted out. I'll read it 8 more times. To realize and spread the knowledge of unity, the religion of love and wisdom, so that the bias of faiths and beliefs may of itself fall away. The human heart may overflow with love, and all hatred caused by distinctions and differences may be rooted out. This is from the religious Gothikas. A tiny little piece. The Sufi message is the message of the day. It is not theories or doctrines. It is the message of love, harmony, and beauty. It is not trying to give a new law. It wakens in humanity the spirit of brotherhood, tolerance on the part of each for the religion of the other, with forgiveness from each for the fault of the other, thoughtfulness and consideration to create and maintain harmony in life, service and usefulness, which alone can make life in the world fruitful and in which lies the satisfaction of every soul. A tiny bit more. We're almost done. The Sufi order, this is more Murshid, has persons belonging to many different faiths. Even in this room, we can go Sufis that just come from different faiths, and we bring our background, our root religion, our practices with us. We don't leave anything at the door. We bring our whole selves, and I'll let him speak. Hold on. Persons belonging to many different faiths. They are firmer in their own faith by understanding the faith of others. We are firmer in our own faith by understanding the faith of others. They have the respect for the scriptures that millions of people hold sacred, though those scriptures do not belong to their own religion. They desire to study and appreciate other scriptures, to find that all wisdom comes from one source. So Murshid offered the universal worship service that he called the Church of All. The prayers that we have said so far, and we have at least one more that we'll be visiting before we close. 100 years ago, when this service was first performed, was the first time that these prayers were said in public. Beautiful. And they're still entirely relevant and powerful. The living magnetism and essence of tolerance, of inclusivity, of offering respect and inviting ourselves to attune to our own highest ideals, to live and create the peace and the love that we want to see in the world. So he designed everything about the altar. He said there are 6 candles representing 6 faith traditions that all look the same. They're the same height. None of them are above or below any of the others. We read from 6 different faith tradition scriptures, not giving special importance to any of them. And we know that it's just one small sampling. We could have 1,000 candles on this altar and it wouldn't be enough. That we have the light of God that was burning before we began and will continue after we finish. And the light of each of these faith traditions is kindled from the light of God. It is the same light that is poured into each different, distinct, beautiful vessel. And we individually and collectively are looking for the wisdom to recognize that and to live that value. Sign me up. Okay. Finally, here are tiny little excerpts that I pulled from each of the prayers to help pull this all together. toward the one, united with all. Thy beauty do we worship. Towards thee we aspire. Thy light is in all forms, thy love in all beings. May the message of God reach far and wide, making the whole humanity as one single family. Raise us above the distinctions and differences which divide. Unite us all in thy perfect being. So I didn't plan on this song, but it occurred to me. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you the words. I'm just going to sing it probably a cappella, maybe twice through, to just give you a hint. And partially because it was composed by my first dance mentor, Timothy Dobson, and who I was dancing with for, I don't know, probably about 28 years or something. I'm older than I look. Okay, so this is a melody by Timothy Dobson. Raise us above the distinctions we imagine to divide us. Raise us above, lift us up in love. We are asking for the grace of God to guide us. Raise us above the distinctions we imagine to divide us. Raise us above, lift us up in love. We are asking for the grace of God to guide us. We'll close with a prayer khatum. O thou, who art the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, the Lord of heaven and earth, open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly cometh from within. Disclose to us thy divine light, which is hidden in our souls, that we may know and understand life better. Most merciful and compassionate God, give us thy great goodness. Teach us thy loving forgiveness. Raise us above the distinctions and differences which divide. Send us the peace of thy divine Spirit, and unite us all in thy perfect being. And a closing blessing for you. I hope that you can see the altar and me. May the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace abide with you. May God's presence illuminate your hearts now and forevermore. Amen. Amen.